I'm Kellie, this is Felipe. We're here at Josef Chromy Wines at the base of the Tamar Valley. The vineyard was established in 1998 and it's 60 hectares of predominantly Pinot Noir. At the start of operating this business, I'm new to the site, so I had no understanding of what previous practices there were. So Felipe and I both needed to understand what the soils were doing, what the irrigation practices were and how we were going to best manage that 60 hectares of unknown area to us. It all started back in 2023. There was an agtech field day down at Milton on the east coast. Agtech providers from over the country came along. SWAN Systems were one of those agtech providers. They gave us an idea of what they could provide. We knew we had a problem here at Chromy with no infrastructure, no data collection, no way of knowing how this agtech could be involved into our business. We also then went to Wine Australia, but how can you help us get this agtech on our place? And they did, and hence the partnership and pilot between AgLogic, SWAN Systems, Josef Chromy and Wine Australia evolved.
And with all the technology or all the support with these companies has been amazing in this time, because we have all the data anytime and we can take the data to make the best decision if we are continue with the irrigation, if we need to stop, but we can check all the weather anytime. Tasmania, sometimes the weather is really complicated because in summer with 25 degrees it's raining. Plus get all the information and data to make decision. It's really important to check diseases, and all this data is really important for us. It's not 100% irrigation, but part of the irrigation we can control different aspects of the vineyard. Technically for all the phytosanitary problems and all the technology, they can provide all the information to make the best decisions. We have soil prop in the company and we have all the data. We can see the data in every single graph, but we need to try to integrate all the data in a different program software. And SWAN, we can integrate everything in the same program and we can see all the soil proof, weather, all integrate in one platform.
At the beginning it was really tough because during flowering we got 100 meals in 1 week.
Yes.
I said, maybe the season will be not the best with 100 meals during flowering. Maybe it will be a really bad season, but it was totally different. It was really good.
Yeah. Well, I've got some interesting data that I'll show you in this end of season report. So I've grabbed this slide from Block 8 Pinot Gris.
Yes.
And just to give you, as you're aware, we dropped the target range band down post-flowering just to allow a little bit of drying out and to divert the sap flow from canopy growth back to fruit development.
Yes.
But from the data here, you've irrigated really well. You've kept it in the middle of the target range here. So you haven't pushed that excessive canopy, but also allowed enough soil moisture to develop the bunches.
My name is Marek and I'm the irrigation specialist at AgLogic. When we think about soil moisture probes, we think about their main role is to help us with irrigation scheduling, but the first and the most valuable thing we can get out of a moisture probe is to get a greater understanding of our soil water movement and how our plants interact with our soil. Once we've got a greater understanding of our soil and a greater appreciation, then we can start dialing down our irrigation scheduling to really get into the nitty-gritty of it.
All the data is showing really efficient irrigation application.
Yeah, because this log is for us is really important because it's stable. We are not looking for high crops. We need to get between 8 and 10 tons. And for us, irrigation in this section is really important. Try to keep a specific volume of grape at the end of the season.
So moving on to crop coefficients. So we've done a reasonable amount of work to get the crop coefficients as accurate as possible. So when we started your account a couple of years ago, we used default crop coefficient. So we've got a library of regional varieties and what that crop coefficient curve is. So from that point, we then modified them slightly as we saw the data coming in and as we saw our soil moisture balance react against the probe. So at this point, we've really been able to modify those crop coefficients to be as accurate as possible. With our weekly or fortnightly meetings, it's been really good to be able to catch up and know exactly what the phenological stages are doing for the season and then be able to modify the dates for these particular crop coefficients. So it's been a very good working partnership with you know, with you always coming to meetings and being able to let me know what's happening on the ground there. So here's a summation of your water application. So every day, how much irrigation you're putting on has been tracked. So the dark blue bars here are irrigation events, and we've got a cumulative effect here of how much irrigation you've put on over the season. We've also implemented a notional water budget, which we set at the start of the season to 1.2 meg per hectare. So that notional budget was calculated through using crop coefficients and then also using historical weather data and ETO. So that's something, again, we'll be able to work on in subsequent seasons. We'll be able to really refine and look at seasonal irrigation data from season to season to really where you want to set that irrigation budget. So this really summarises how well you irrigated throughout the season. So this is a combined irrigation amount of all of your blocks and a combined crop water demand of all of your blocks.
Okay.
So it's broken up into individual months. The green bars here show your crop water demand for the whole vineyard, and then the blue bars, so the dark blue is irrigation applied, and then the light blue is effective rainfall.
Right.
So anything which is over that 5 millimetres, but then under also 50 millimetres. So you can see here a really nice correlation between crop water demand and irrigation and useful rainfall. So you've really made the most of the rain and only applied pretty much exactly what you needed to meet crop water demand. So this is a brilliant summary of your irrigation season, and from this I would imagine that you've had a fairly well balanced canopy, a canopy which could ripen fruit very well, a canopy that's not overly vigorous at shading fruit. Yeah, so I think you couldn't really have done any better.
All your support is really good, Tom, and thank you very much for your help.
No problems. It's been a pleasure.